Hi, friends. I forgot to mute the phone. Good morning. And it's a rainy day here in Minnesota, which I'm super happy about. It's supposed to taper off today, and we're supposed to have some fun plans with the granddaughter this evening. Hopefully, it works out. Otherwise, we'll have her tomorrow for the Frozen musical here at the Children's Theater in Minneapolis. So, today I've got for you a really wonderful kit. As you remember, I used to do a lot of the Stampin' Up exclusive kit collections, and they come out with 2 to 3 kits every month. And this kit is their first scrapbook kit from their kit collection. So I know that I've done some kits that were scrapbooking workshop kits, but this is on the same level as their card kits and some of their fun kits. So you get the box when you order it. It's $36. Make a memory scrapbooking kit. So you can see it's got um, the typical kit look with the tag, and then you've got the typical kit instructions, which is a really nice fold out of step-by-step instructions on how to put it together. And it gives you crazy, but this kit will give you 6 2-page layouts. So there's a whole lot to love about this kit. And I love that it's all inclusive. In other words, they've got all the adhesive that you need. The only thing that you'll need is a cutter for these bigger pieces. So let me just show you the elements. So obviously tear and tape, and we've got the glue dots, and then they've got these cards, and there's actually 20 of these cards, but they have some fun colors that are included in them. So let me just kind of go over that real quick. On the back of the trifold instructions, the color instructions, they have the kit components, and it tells you basic beige, basic gray, cloud cover, crumb cake, darling duckling, gray granite, lost lagoon, petal pink, pretty peacock, secret sea, shaded spruce, and very vanilla. So there is some really fun, even though there's some bright colors in here, it's actually more on the neutral color scale. So I love that it has all of that. And then, so there's actually 14 12 by 12 pieces of cardstock. One of them is meant to be cut in pieces to put into your layout. And then there are, of course, these cards. These are 4-inch by 6-inch. And let me just put this aside so you can kind of see the colors. And you can see there's pretty in pink and some of the shaded spruce. And then we've got pretty peacock, and then the darling duckling. This is a secret sea, or no, maybe this is the Lost Lagoon. And then, of course, this is darling duckling and more of the shaded spruce. This looks like just a nice ombre from Cloudy Sky through Lost Lagoon to Pretty Peacock. So just really pretty colors. Petal pink. This one has got some crumb cake. And then shaded spruce, more of the ombre. This is really maybe hard to see, but this is white to basic beige ombre. So you can see there's a little bit of the ombre look to it. This has got some of the gray granite, little polka dots. And this is so fun. This is like old school paper. And then we got some darling duckling. Actually, this yellow looks like lemon lolly. Yeah. And this one looks like darling duckling. This is petal pink. Got some cute hearts and all the colors I've mentioned. Some fun stripes. Lots of these are great for journaling. Some fun polka dots and some foliage. More of these lines for lots of journaling. So lots and lots of choices. Let me just spread these out in a smaller place so you can see how well they coordinate with the cardstock. And then we've got cutouts, die cuts, and stickers. So there's tons to love about this kit, and it's super easy, and I'll show you that in just a minute, but I wanted to go through these for you so you can see how much variety. And these are great for just kind of placing behind photos or journaling with, just some great layers for your scrapbooking. Okay, so let's get the box out of the way. Everything came in this. I opened it up already. And so these are meant to be cut into strips. And I'll show you that in my first layout. And so it's just kind of a fun element. You can have it go all the way across or on one side. And we'll use this one right here in our first layout. So you can see these are great colors and they match. This is really a pretty match with some of these here. So you've got lots of options with that. So these aren't meant for a page, unless that's what you wanted, is just to have something really fun. You know, you could do that, but I think I'm going to cut these out and use them as layers. Okay, then I have put these in kind of an order because none of them are perfectly matched. In other words, no two pages are alike. These are one-sided, so you get a really nice bright white, but I thought these two could easily go together. Just a fun little chevron pattern, and these of course are all the colors in the kit, and you've got the bright white. If you're not a fan of this, you can turn it over, and then you've got already some decor here, and you could just do your layout or however you wanted to do it. You know, just it's got some options, so you don't have to do it. But also, these are really heavy. I don't know if you can hear that, but this is a really heavy duty cardstock, so it's not necessarily as lightweight as the DSP typically is. So really, really nice quality. So here's two of them. And then we've got, let me just put these so I can kind of keep them going. A real fun wash. And then this one again had this cloudy sky, cloud cover. Sorry, that's it, cloud cover. Wash, and then this one had some washes across it, so I thought again that would be a really cute set to go together, or you could pair these two together. So you do whatever I think works for you. And again, if you don't like something, you can turn it over and have the basic white as well. This one here, there's actually two of them, and I've already used one of them, but I just wanted to show you. I'm going to be creating another one to match this one. They're not exact. So even though these are the same colors, they're not exact, which is cool. I love that because that means that I can just make these go together in my own way. And I think that they're just, it's like a finished concrete look. So there's two of those. And then, but again, like I said, they're not exactly the same. Then there's two in the petal pink. So you've got some polka dots and you've got some stripes, some really fun patterns. And then you've got a couple of, this is crumb cake in white or basic beige. So again, if it's not your thing, you've got some white options. And then these are really nice. This looks like a linen, and it's crumb cake and basic beige. But this one, even though they look like they're exactly alike, they're not. There's nothing exact about it. So it's kind of cool that you've got this option of having something that goes together, but is not exactly the same. So I think that they run together really nicely. And so it definitely gives you that option of doing that. Okay, so you can see that these are all the cardstocks. So enough to do, you got 12 here, and so you've got enough to do 6 layouts. And then on top of that, you've got all these fun tags and frames that will punch out. You can see that they're trying to come out, and banners. So some flags, just really great elements for scrapbooking. And again, it matches all the other elements in the pages. Another page of the same, but none are alike. So you've got all these tags, more banners, more flags, and more frames. So really, really fun. And no two are alike. Just, it makes it really a great way for you to have all kinds of choices. And then here's more pop-outs, some flowers, the world, cute bike, strawberries. These are in petal pink. You know, we've got the lemon. That is the darling duckling. And some of the pretty peacock, the cloud cover. It's just really cute. I love these elements. Just really fun scrapbooking. And then we've got stickers. So the stickers are all this foliage, which is really fun. And I've already taken a couple of them out for one of my layouts. And then you've got all these fun sentiments. Now, you're going to have them in French and German as well. And so you can throw those away, or you can use the part that is in English. Or if you want to cut out letters and create a word, you can. I think that I've definitely done that. I mean, most everybody knows what amour means, and so it's really fun. It's you can do anything you want to with them, but I'm going to keep them because there may be something I want from them. And then don't forget, like, I've taken out the sticker for together, but you could easily fussy cut around that and put that on a coordinating cardstock, have whatever color you want it to be, and you've got another sentiment that is big enough for your or title that's big enough for your scrapbook page. Okay, so let's kind of keep these in order so I can keep track of where things are. I am going to use this second page in this gray granite, kind of a concrete look. I'll put the rest of these aside. And I had already taken out a couple of these, so I don't need any more of those, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a second page that will coordinate with this first page. So you can see that I pulled out a couple of cards that match the tags that I'm going to use for this other one. So let's pull out some of the tags that I'm going to need for this other layout. So I'm going to need the camera. So that's one of them for this. And then I'll need, and I'm following this because today I just don't feel like getting super creative. So I think it's okay to do what you need to do to create the layouts that you want. And sometimes I don't want to have to think too hard. I want to just be able to create what they're showing me. So I've got these elements, and then there is this piece right here that's for the background. So let's cut that out. So you will need a cutter, but otherwise you're not going to need anything else for the scrapbook layout. So this would be a fun kit to take to a scrapbook party or prop, as they call them. And And I've got all these other stripes that I can use for different things. So I'm just using this one piece. Okay, so let's fold up all this other stuff so it's not getting in our way. And then we can just follow this one instruction. Okay, so this goes pretty much across the middle of the page. So I'm going to push this over just a little bit so I can line up and use the lines of the grid that I have. And so I want this in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the instructions, and it tells me to use the tearing tape. Now I have some extra tearing tape, so I'm not using the kits just yet. I like to use up stuff as I go. And look at that. I just finished it. So like I've shown you before, I like to just fold this back a little bit, make sure that my page is straight, and then I can follow the grid to make sure that I've got it level. And there we have it. So, okay. So then these pieces are going to go here, here, and here. So, and as you can see, just as a reminder, I'm using some elements that are the same. So I picked these colors, these pieces of the note cards, this 4x6 note cards, and the tag that is a complement to this. And then this piece is a complement to this. Even though it's not exact, it's close, and it just kind of gives it continuity for the two pieces. So I'm not sure which direction I'm going to go, if it's going to go this way and then this will be over here, but I'm thinking about it still. Okay. So first thing is to add tear and tape to the backs of these. And we can now use the kit tear and tape. And I don't think we're going to need these glue dots. We'll need some, no, those are for the smaller things. Okay. So I'm going to punch out the little holes before I adhere them down. And if you want to add some of your twine or jute or something like that, one of your ribbons to add to your scrapbook page, you're more than welcome to. It's not included in the kit, but this is where you just do what you feel is right for you in the kit. I'm going to probably get some linen thread and add it to the tops. So let me go get that real quick. I have a piece here that's already a length when I was doing a share with some other demonstrators. And I think I only need probably, let's see. Let's fold this in half, try to get some of the and then I could get 4 equal lengths out of it. And we'll put one over here, and then we'll add it to these. So when I'm doing my tags, I usually just pinch it in half, thread it through, And then just show you again real quick, pinch it in half, thread it through the front. So as it worked out, these are pictures from a Catalina trip from 2017 that I took with my son, my stepson, his big brother, and my husband. So it was just fun to share some time with Matthew and Nathaniel and let them spend some time together. And Catalina, Avalon, is one of my favorite places. So it's just a really beautiful destination. It's got so much history from the early part of this century and some really Art Deco, beautiful Art Deco stuff. Okay, so these look like they're supposed to, there's not dimensions showing where exactly everything's supposed to go. So just kind of eyeball it, what you feel works best for you. And I thought I got this in the middle, but it looks like I didn't. Let me just pull this one up and move it over a little bit. And I should probably put this one in first. Do the sides, then do the middle. Just a little bit further down. There we go. I like that better. Okay, and then just add some tear and tape to the back of this camera. And then I'll show you the photo that I have prepared for this. It's just one of those long, instead of the two, looks like, I don't know, 3x4 or 4x4, I'm not sure. I just had a really nice long panoramic photo that I'm going to use and in place of that. So let's put this back here and then I can start adding the stickers and such. I'm going to move this camera over just a little bit. I'm getting lucky today and nothing's tearing, which is nice. Just going to move it over just a little bit. And that way I've got enough room for my panoramic photo with a little distance in between. All right. So next is the title. So the reason I'm pausing is because what did I do with the stickers? There we go. These are the moments, and I was thinking of putting that either to the left or to the right. Let's figure out which way I think looks the best together. And I think it's going to be this way. So I think I'm going to trade from putting the title like this shows, where it's down here. I'm actually going to put, these are the moments, because I want it to be with us. And so I'll put this here, just overlap a little bit with my photo. And then I've got together that I've already pulled out. And I'm just going to place it down here. See if I can get it to Just a really delicate, beautiful little font. So these are the moments together. So I love that. You know, it's just a great little sentiment that goes with it. And now I can finish putting my stickers. So I'm going to use the other two of these. So, and then it looks like I'm supposed to use a little banner. So I missed that. So I missed this banner. And let's just cut it and let a little bit stick out. Just pull this up just a little bit. I try to pull it up anymore, it's going to tear for sure. Okay. And then I could easily just put the rest of this banner up here, just kind of add a little bit of element. And then I probably should put some tear and tape underneath this, so it lays down like it's supposed to now. So this is what happens when you change things up. Okay, so just going to add. So I'm just using the other one of these. And again, you can see how there's all this leftover. You can always just cut around it, place it on some coordinating cardstock, and you've got more elements that you could actually add to your scrapbook or whatever you want. So this is just looks like it's part of the. So I am going to now, there's a heart that's supposed to go here. And I'll just add a little bit more tear and tape. And I'm just going to add it here. And I think that I'm really happy with this. Let me just add my other little linen thread to my last tag. You can see how quickly this came together. It just takes a little bit of thought about your photos and how you're going to place those. And here I've got a 2-page layout. I do need to add this. Or maybe I should add it up here. There we go. I like that better. What do you think? Pretty easy little layout. Now this is just inspiration from one. And so then you've got this one here, and we've got this one here, and I've got all these photos that I can make more. I've got enough photos for 3 2-page layouts. So I'm going to just work on maybe another one of them, and I think I'm going to use this one down here because I like that it's got all these different photos. And you can see how they're kind of showing you how to layer either with your photos or with the cardstock. So let's follow this one, and I can easily make a second one to go with it. So, all right, so 2 pages are done. Let's put these aside. And then don't forget, you've got all these little areas to journal. And I did want to let you know that Stampin' Up! Has journaling pens now. Comes in a set of 3. And so be sure to check those out. And I want to just create a title here. So the other portion of it, I put the date underneath the sentiment. And here I've got Avalon, Catalina Island. And so I've got a date and the location of where we were. And I'm going to look up we stayed in one of these condos up here when this is what the view is. And so I'm going to look that up, and then it's been too many years. So it's like 8 years ago. So, all right. Let's grab the pages that we need for the other layout. So we're going to be using these. And again, like I said, they're not exact, but I love how the white from this linen look actually is a little different, and it just creates a great 2-page layout. Okay, so we need some of the cards. So let's look for, so the one that has the ombre wash. So this is the basic gray wash. And then I think this one would look really good over here. And they want us to use the one with the little polka dots. Here we go. So this one goes here. And then there is this piece here, which, let me just trade these. So there's another piece that gets cut and is going to be part of this edge. But what I'm going to do, so you can see that this has a big strip, and I'm actually going to cut this and then cut it in half. So let's do that, because then I can put a little bit on this side and a little bit on that side and get a really nice end piece. So as it works out, this is around 3.5 inches. So then cut it in half, and will be 1 3/4 each. And then because I've cut it down, I'm going to place it so that it's maybe a little offset from the edge. So this is this layout that I'm doing, and I don't have that many photos, but let's find, and then we've got the little world punch out for the traveling, the little globe, I guess I should call it. And then we have the sentiment, collect memories. And then I can journal on this like it shows here in these instructions. But I need another one for this side. So we have one that has ombre to it. And I thought I saw another one that had a cute little polka dot look to it. Or it can be this one. Let's take a look, because I know that they gave instructions on how to do others. So when you're going through and you're looking at all the instructions, so this is one, this is another one, and this is another one. So these are just 1 pages. These aren't 2. And then here it shows you the rest of the pages. So let's take a look at what they suggested for this second one that has the same print. And so I don't know that I want it to match exactly. They were using this one Am I missing some of the cards? I don't. Oh, here it is. Yeah, they were doing this one. And I don't like that with it. So I'm going to do something a little bit different, kind of in the direction I was thinking, but maybe not this one. I think I like, well, or even this one I like is really neutral. Okay, I think that's what I'll do, but I will use these, I think, and then so this one does have some of these stickers, so let's kind of figure out those. So that seems to be, oh, interesting. They're using the same ones twice. So we're going to use these. And I'm just going to place it here. That's not a sticky surface, so it'll come off really nicely. And some of these petal pink. See if there's anything else that I like better. Just maybe some more elements. So it looks like I'm supposed to use this banner. So that brings the petal pink from both and the petal pink from the little leaves. And we'll need something for this side. I think one of those flags up there would look nice. And maybe something that has something like that. Okay. I feel good about this. Now let me just show you my photos. So I have these Catalina Island from the Avalon. It's a really beautiful building there. And so it has all these really great architectural elements. And this is upside down. This is the ceiling of the ballroom. And then I have all of these really beautiful so this one is the front of this building. And this is the inside. So I don't know that I necessarily want any of these photos to overlap. And then I have these three. So it's working out. I think that some of these colors are being picked up. So I don't have exactly the same layout they do because they have like 4 photos. And I have these 5. And I want them to be able to be spread out between the 2. And they're different sizes. So obviously I don't have all the exact same sizes. So again, feel comfortable doing what you need to do to present your items. And then I've got plenty of room to journal on this. So this was, oh, I'm trying to remember what it was called, but it has a special name. And so I think it's great. And then we've got stickers that we add to this that has a sentiment. So we'll use this that says collect memories here. And then I think I want to use this one that says remember, but so let's make sure we have room for the title. And so I can scoot these down a little bit. And then I think I've got enough room for the title up there. So this is one that I don't think that you could reuse because it cuts out all the color. There's nothing there other than the outline. So I think I'll stick that there and just overlap it a little bit on here. So, okay, so just as a reminder, this is our inspiration. And then we have these little things to add as well. And I'll do 2 on this side and 2 on this side. I want to make sure that I'm not using them all just on one layout because there's not as many as I was thinking. So, all right. So we're using this as inspiration and put my little sentiment to the side. And now we can start adhering it down. All right, so let's use the tear and tape to start placing. And you can kind of see how you can adapt the kit as you go. So I'm going to have this be about 1 inch off. And then I think these 2 placed like that work just great. So let's add this one first. I think this is a good place for it. And then we'll add this one. This is one of those pieces that are one of these scrapbook pages that I'm letting the colored photos shine by not actually making too much of the background. So in other words, I'm letting these photos just pop because of how stunning this building is. The casino, that's what it's called. They call it a casino, though it has never been used as a casino. It was used as a dance hall and a theater. And now it is a movie theater, and I think they still do special events in their ballroom, which is above the theater. But it's just amazing, and this is just a really gorgeous little bit of the architecture. I have another scrapbook that I've done for Nathaniel and I when we went over to Catalina together when he was younger. I think he might have been in 7th grade at the time, or 6th grade, and we just had a great time. It was like in 2011 or 12, something like that. And went and looked at the beautiful countryside. We did a tour and found the buffalo, and we also went up to the airport and did all the little touristy things like the submarine, and I think we saw some flying fish and a boat ride. Just really fun things. Okay, so now this, collect memories. And then let's add the tear and tape to the middle. And then I'll just kind of offset this just a little bit without covering too much of my photo. And then I can start adding these are just, this is the basic beige, or no, the gray granite. This is the petal pink. Just a really beautiful. And then now we can start doing the second page. So I can scoot this one over just a little. So I have, so I'm not sure that this is the best. I don't think I like that as much as I thought. I'll find something else that I like to go with this, because I don't think the flowers really go. This has got a lot of Art Deco look to it, and so I'd rather it be something of that nature. Okay, and with these photos, I actually trimmed it with just a little bit of white around it. So, okay, so these two, and then this one will go up there, and then these two. Okay. So for the long pieces, like I said, I'm gonna, like I showed you before, I'm gonna make sure that I do this in sections, because it can get really bad if you don't follow the outline. So I'm gonna do just a little bit less than 1 inch. And then I can slowly take this off. And that one's set. All right, so I'm going to overlap this, kind of a repeat of what this photo does over here. You can add more if you want, but I don't necessarily feel like I need to, because this is going to go in a photo protector. And then this one can go here, kind of like this other one. So now we can separate a little bit so you can kind of get an idea of how it's going to look. And then my photos are 3.5 by 5, just so you have a reference. And you can just do whatever you need to for your photos. But I feel like when I'm trying to get this many really pretty tall ones in, it's kind of what I need to do. So let's put this little one up here. So maybe because this has a heart, I can bring in some more of the hearts. And then if I recall correctly, I had this overlapping just a little bit on my photo. All right, let's put this one here. So my husband and I were able to go see our grandchildren this last weekend, and we got to meet our son-in-law's new girlfriend, which that was hard. It wasn't expected. I mean, we knew we were going to meet her, but I just want to say that it's been a hard element of our grieving process because we are not obviously anywhere near done grieving Christine. That may take us many years, but obviously we didn't think he would be dating so quickly. So, but he's a dad with young children, and I think it was just something he needed to do, and we're trying to be respectful of the decisions that he has to make as a father, taking the need of his kids. So I get that. It was just tough. So trying to remember that, everyone has to grieve their own way, trying to be respectful of their decisions. It's just been a little tough. All right, and then we've got these beautiful foliage, kind of Art Deco-ish. And that touched my photo before I was done. So I think it just needs a little something here. So let's kind of take a look at what we have. And I'm thinking that another one of these hearts, maybe a little mini one. I was hoping a little something more of green, but I guess that's enough green. So I think maybe like that. And I think this is where one of the glue dots will work just fine on the back of this little heart. And then I can journal and I am done. So here we are. Some easy pages. I like that they're neutral. It just kind of helps the photos pop. And there we are. We just got done with 4 pages in just under an hour, and super easy. And I hope that you enjoyed them as much as I did. Just like I said, it's a great way, a kit to just take with you to a crop and just go to town, especially if you've got something that, you're not always sure what you're going to do, but I think it's just a really fun one, easy to follow instructions, and then you can be creative on your second one, or you can follow the way they have it exactly. So, all right, if you are watching later on YouTube, please like and subscribe and share with a friend. Be sure to follow my blog. I'll have all the measurements and this with instructions, step-by-step instructions, so that you can got the information in writing, but you also have the YouTube video. So I've given you a link for my blog, so be sure to subscribe and you'll get weekly updates as I have them. So thank you so much for joining me. It's Angela again with Wild Balance Art. Have a great weekend.